Hey Fanatics! In this video, we're diving deep into the music world and Ice Cube's mission to uncover its darkest secrets. He isn't just venting online anymore. No, sir. He's moved on to doing full-blown interviews about the people who control the industry. And you won't believe whose name came up in one of these interviews. Normally, it's not a shocker to see people criticizing leading names in the industry, but Ice came with some pretty solid evidence to back his claims up. So yes, we're taking him seriously, and the news is worrying. He talked about the big guns who profit from sending rappers to jail, and having been in the industry for a long time, it's safe to say he's witnessed some pretty questionable things happening to rappers. As a result, he's now determined to expose the top players personally. And we're all aware that seeing someone stand up against powerful figures like Jay-Z with concrete facts used to be pretty rare, but times have changed. So if you're interested in Ice Cube's revelations about an unnamed veteran rapper, you don't want to miss this video. In fact, you don't want to miss any of our videos. Hit that subscribe button so we can keep you posted on all things underground. Ice Cube has been speaking out about how record company executives manipulate artists, telling them what's hot and instructing them on what to do. He claims they even hire songwriters to write lyrics for them. And let us tell you something, his word cannot be taken lightly, because he comes with a lot of credibility due to being part of the industry for decades. He's seen it all up close. Recently, he called out the puppeteer nature of the music industry, where labels and their executives control the fate of rappers and play a huge part in their legal troubles. In a conversation with Bill Maher on the Comedian's podcast, Ice delved deeper into how certain executives in the music world have a hand in controlling society at large. He believes that these top players orchestrate distractions and divisions among the general public to keep them from seeing the real issues. He also talked about the scandalous connection between the prison industry and the music business. He believes all these divisive tactics are used to keep people bickering and distracted from the real issues. When he was asked to identify the people responsible for all this, Ice posed a thought-provoking question. Who benefits and profits from our bickering and division? Wait, we'll help you figure out the answer. If you follow the money and go high enough, you'll land right on the culprit. Ice used the music industry as an example of how those at the top pull society's strings. But here's an even weirder twist. Apparently, the same people who own record labels also own prisons. Now, that sounds fishy, doesn't it? It's like the records that come out are tailor-made to lead people straight into the prison system. But as you can imagine, not everyone bought into Cube's revelation. Some skeptics argued that rappers aren't forced to write lyrics that get them in trouble. Ice wasn't backing down though. He brought out the big guns and explained his point. It's not about forcing anyone to write certain lyrics, it's about record companies acting as guardrails. They decide which songs make the cut and which ones don't. Cube even suggested that some records are created by committee, where the record company micromanages the lyrics and ideas. It's like they're pushing a certain narrative. According to Ice Cube, this is a prime example of social engineering. The record companies with their vested interests are ensuring that the prison population stays full. It's not about the artists being coerced into writing specific lyrics. It's about the record companies being there as guardrails to control what gets released. In the end, Ice Cube's message was clear. The same people running the record labels seem to have some serious stakes in the private prison industry. So, naturally, they'll do whatever it takes to have a say in how long people end up behind bars. And guess who fits right into this conversation? None other than the head of the Carter household himself, Jay-Z. Here's the scoop. Jay-Z, being at the tippity top of the music industry, happens to run his own record labels. And guess what? Some of the artists signed to his labels have ended up in jail. Now that seems like a mighty big coincidence, doesn't it? Let's dive into this intriguing web a bit deeper. While many rappers signed to Jay-Z's record label have had their fair share of legal controversies, there appears to be a pattern of Jay-Z not extending a helping hand despite having all the right connections. One notable example is the rapper Casanova, who was signed to Roc Nation back in 2016. In November 2021, he got hit with attempted murder charges and has been behind bars since. But here's the kicker. Casanova claims that Jay-Z hasn't provided any assistance, even after months of going back and forth with his case. In fact, after spending a month behind bars, Casanova released a statement on Instagram pouring his heart out. He expressed his frustration, saying that he's been incarcerated for nearly a year, exhausted all legal remedies, and spent a significant amount of money to prove his innocence. According to him, the charges against him are false and don't reflect the person he truly is. Casanova called on all the powerful and influential people out there to lend him a hand, whether it's by contacting his legal team or even hiring a private investigator to look into the truth. Now here's where things get even more eyebrow-raising. Considering that Jay-Z has been chummy with the American president at different points in the past, isn't it a bit odd that his own artist has to publicly beg for legal help? It raises some questions, doesn't it? But wait, there's more. Let's not forget about Tory Lanez, who recently found himself in a legal mess with Megan Thee Stallion. Well, even he had a taste of Jay-Z's power playing a role in his story. At this point, it's seriously starting to look like there's even more to Jay-Z's involvement in controlling the narrative and manipulating artists. According to reports, Tory Lanez, who was caught up in a legal battle with Megan Thee Stallion, claimed that he received a call from Roc Nation, Jay-Z's record label, or should I say, a threat. The call basically said, "Hey, we heard you're about to spill the beans on what happened. It's in your best interest to keep your mouth shut." Now here's the kicker. Megan is an artist under Roc Nation, making big bucks for them. So, if the label was indeed trying to silence Tory, it's another piece of evidence suggesting that Jay-Z has his hands deeply invested in controlling the narrative about artists. But Tory Lanez wasn't the only one speaking up about Jay-Z's alleged manipulation. Even Tory's father dropped Jay-Z's name. And if that's not enough, let's talk about the legendary R. Kelly, who is currently in jail for a whole host of sex-related charges. Apparently, his former cellmate Ronnie Bo revealed in an interview that R. Kelly believed Jay-Z wanted him dead. That's pretty sick, considering both Jay-Z and R. Kelly worked together on albums and went on tour, but things apparently went sour between them. R. Kelly felt that Jay-Z was insecure because at the time, he was technically bigger in the music scene. Bo mentioned that R. Kelly received death threats before a show in Madison Square Garden, and he believed they came from Jay-Z. But wait, there's more! Jay-Z even created an app to monitor former convicts upon their release. While he claims it's about helping society, it's making some people question his intentions. History and Ice Cube seem to paint a completely different picture. It seems like more and more people are starting to see who Jay-Z really is, and they're not keeping quiet about it. Social media users have voiced their opinions, with one person pointing out that Jay-Z is a black capitalist invested in the prison industrial complex. They even mentioned that the CEO of Roc Nation was a DEA informant, going against what the Black Panther Party stood for. It's making some wonder if it's finally time to put their foot down against this puppeteer. We might just find out soon enough. That's a wrap for this video. Goodbye for now, but I have a feeling there's more to come. Stay tuned, and before you go, we'd love to hear your thoughts on Jay-Z. What do you think about all these allegations and claims? Let us know in the comments down below. And hey, if you enjoyed this content, make sure to subscribe to our channel. We've got more intriguing stories and discussions coming your way. See you in the next video!